It's been a longer day than I expected. Smiles I wore still hanging on my face. The sky outside is slowly changing color, like it's giving everything some space. I set my worries on the table, next to a cup that's losing steam. Let the noise fall out of my shoulders, let the silence hold me gently. Wednesday evening, don't rush me now. I don't need to have it figured out. Underneath this quiet blue, I can finally breathe the truth. Halfway through and I'm still alright. Let the world soften in the light. Midweek sky turning blue, turning me back into me. Streetlights flicker into being, windows glow along the road. I don't have to chase tomorrow, I can lay this heavy load. There's comfort in the slowing rhythm, in footsteps fading down the street. I don't need a perfect ending, just a softer place to be. Wednesday evening, stay with me. Nothing here I have to prove, even if I'm incomplete. There's a calm I can't lose. Halfway through and I still stand with open heart and open hands. Midweek sky turning blue, turning me back into me. Maybe I was stronger than I thought. Maybe rest is not defeat. Maybe all this gentle breathing is the victory I need. Wednesday evening, let me stay right here in this fading hue. Not ahead, not behind, just alive and passing through. Midweek sky turning blue, and I'm slowly turning too. Tomorrow can wait outside. Tonight I'm enough inside.
After 6, the city loosens, ties undone and collars free. I find a quiet corner waiting, like it saved a seat for me. Coffee rings and fading daylight, shadows stretching on the floor. I don't hear the clock so loudly like I did an hour before. In a quiet corner after 6, I let the restless think and drift. No alarms and no demands, just warm light across my hands. Midweek doesn't feel so tight when I sit here in this light. In a quiet corner after 6, I remember how to live. Cars go by like distant rivers, but they don't pull me away. For a moment I am nowhere, and that's exactly where I stay. There's a peace in not deciding what tomorrow needs to be. Just a chair and gentle music, and a slower version of me. In a quiet corner after 6, I let the restless thinking drift. Nothing urgent calling out, nothing I must think about. Halfway through this working week, I find the calm I always seek. In a quiet corner after 6, I remember how to live. Maybe life is not the running, maybe it's the sitting still. Maybe all this quiet breathing is what finally heals. In a quiet corner after 6, the world softens at the edges. No applause and no grand plan, just the rhythm of my hands. Midweek finally feels forgiven in this small and simple living. In a quiet corner after 6, I remember how to live. Tomorrow waits beyond the door. Tonight I need no more.
room feels softer now, like it's holding me in place. All the noise I carry home slowly fades without a trace. I don't need to solve the day, I don't need to understand why some things are heavier than what I had planned. Tonight the air is kinder, it doesn't push or pull. The room feels softer now, and my heart feels full. Halfway through the week, I don't need to be strong. In this gentle quiet, I finally belong. There's a lamp beside the sofa, casting gold along the wall. I can hear my breathing steady, I don't feel so small. Maybe rest is not surrender, maybe slowing down is wise. Maybe peace is something simple right before my eyes. Tonight the air is kinder, it doesn't rush the truth. The room feels softer now, and so do I too. Nothing here demanding, nothing left to prove. Just a calm that wraps around me like a second skin to move. If I let the silence speak, it tells me I survived every doubt and every fear. Still I'm here, alive. Final. Tonight the air is kinder, it lets my shoulders fall. The room feels softer now, like it knows it all. Midweek turns to quiet, and I turn with it somehow. In this warm and waiting light, the room feels softer now. Tomorrow can knock when it wants. Tonight I stay here. There's a moment in the evening when the sunlight slips away, not quite dark and not still golden, like the edge of yesterday. I stand between the fading colors, breathing slower than before. Nothing asking for attention, nothing knocking at the door. Between daylight and lamps, I find a softer place where the world forgets to hurry and time slows down its pace. Halfway through the week, I don't need to run. Between daylight and lamps, I become someone. Cars pass by like distant echoes, but they never pull me in. For a while I'm just existing, not losing, not to win. There's a comfort in the balance of the not yet and the gone, like the sky is gently whispering, fall. No more proving anything, no climbing any wall. Halfway through the week, I'm allowed to breathe. Between daylight and lamps, I can just be me. Maybe peace is not dramatic, maybe calm is small and quiet. Maybe healing happens softly when we finally try it. Between daylight and lamps, the world turns warm and slow. I don't need a brighter future, I don't need to know. Halfway through the week, I'm exactly where I am. Between daylight and lamps, that is enough for now. The night arrives gently, and I let it in.
Didn't know I needed silence till it wrapped around my chest like a chair pulled out and waiting, telling me to sit and rest. All the noise I carried home sets itself down on the floor. Nothing urgent in this moment, nothing I must answer for. This is just a small break for the heart, not the end, just a gentle start of remembering how to stay without running far away. Midweek loosens in the dark. This is just a small break for the heart. Streetlights hum like quiet comfort, shadows stretch along the ground. For the first time all day long, I don't feel so tightly wound. There's a peace in doing nothing, there's a strength in standing still. Maybe healing isn't loud, maybe calm is what will heal. This is just a small break for the heart. Let the heavy thinking part drift away into the night, out of focus, out of sight. Midweek softens at the start of a small break for the heart. I don't need a grand solution, I don't need to understand why some days feel overwhelming, like slipping through my hands. This is just a small break for the heart, a quiet room, a slower part of the story I still write in of this life. Midweek gives me back my spark in this small break for the heart. Tomorrow can come when it's ready. Tonight I'm steady.
Somewhere in the background, plates are softly clinking, like a rhythm for the evening, like a sound of gentle thinking. I sit here by the window, watching strangers pass, and nothing feels demanding, nothing feels too fast. In the sound of distant dishes, I can hear my breathing slow. Every small and quiet moment tells me I don't have to go. Midweek doesn't need a reason to be peaceful as it is. In the sound of distant dishes, there's a quiet kind of bliss. Laughter floats across the room, but it doesn't pull me in. I don't need to join the noise to feel alive within. There's a warmth in being present. There's a grace in letting go. Maybe this is all I needed, more than I will ever know. In the sound of distant dishes, there's a softness in the air, like the world is gently telling me I don't need to care. Midweek holds me lightly, like it knows exactly how. In the sound of distant dishes, I am safe right now. Maybe joy is something simple, hidden in the everyday. Not a firework explosion, just a quiet place to stay. In the sound of distant dishes, time forgets to move. Nothing here to measure, nothing left to prove. Midweek wraps around me like a calm, familiar valve in the sound of distant dishes. I am here somehow. And that is more than enough.
I've said enough for one long day, explained and over-explained. Now I let the silence settle like a soft and steady rain. There's a chair beside the window, there's a shadow on the wall. I don't need another answer, I don't need to fix it all. There's nothing more to say tonight, no final word to make it right. Let the quiet fill the space, let the tension leave my face. Midweek fading into light, nothing more to say tonight. Phones can rest and screens grow dark. The world can spin alone. I don't need to chase its turning, I can stay right here at home. Maybe strength is not in shouting, maybe peace is not a fight, maybe calm is just accepting this soft and simple night. There's nothing more to say tonight, no need to win, no need to fight, just a lamp and gentle air and the comfort of a chair. Midweek finally feels right, nothing more to say tonight. All the things I couldn't solve will still be there at dawn, but I don't have to carry them till every light is gone. There's nothing more to say tonight. The edges blur, the mood is light, halfway through and standing still, that alone is quiet will. Midweek gives me back my sight, nothing more to say tonight. that is perfectly alright.
There's a quiet by the window where the city feels far away. Cars move like distant memories, but they don't ask me to stay. I rest my hands around a cup, let the steam rise slow. Nothing pulling at my name, nowhere I must go. In a calm seat near the glass, I let the heavy hours pass. Midweek breeze and softer tones, like I'm finally coming home. No expectations, no disguise, just evening light and tired eyes. In a calm seat near the glass, I let the heavy hours pass. Conversations blur behind me like waves against the shore. I don't need to join the tide, I've been swimming all day long before. Prayers of comfort in the stillness, in the pause between each thought. Maybe peace is something simple that I almost forgot. In a calm seat near the glass, nothing moves too fast. Halfway through the week, I don't have to ask if I'm enough or if I'm strong. The quiet tells me I belong. In a calm seat near the glass, I let the heavy hours pass. Maybe rest is not a weakness, maybe slowing down is grace, maybe healing finds its way in an ordinary place. Final in a calm seat near the glass, the world fades into the past. Midweek settles in my chest, and for a while I rest. No applause and no demands, just warm light across my hands. In a calm seat near the glass, I let the heavy hours pass, and that is more than enough tonight.
All day long the voices echo, deadlines knocking at my door. Now the hallway's growing quiet, like it's never been before. The ticking clock feels softer, like it's lost its need to raise. I can hear my own breathing filling up the space. When the noise finally fades, I remember who I am. Not the rush and not the wait, not the never-ending plan. Midweek loosens in the dark, like a knot undone inside. When the noise finally fades, I don't have to hide. Streetlights hum like low confessions, windows glow in distant rows. There's a comfort in the ordinary, in the way the evening flows. Nothing here demanding answers, nothing asking me to prove. Just a slower kind of rhythm in the way my shoulders move. When the noise finally fades, there's a calm I recognize. Not dramatic, not loud, just the truth behind my eyes. Halfway through and standing still feels like something brave. When the noise finally fades, I find the peace I crave. Maybe silence is the teacher I was always meant to meet. Maybe rest is the reward after running through the weeds. When the noise finally fades, I don't chase what's out of sight. I just sit inside the moment, in the comfort of this life. Midweek gently rearranged, nothing left to be afraid. When the noise finally fades, I finally feel okay. Tomorrow can wait outside. halfway through the week tonight. I can feel the edges blur. All the sharp and restless hours softened into something sure. I don't need to rush the ending. I don't need to start again. For a moment I am simply more than deadlines, more than when. Halfway through the week I finally breathe, not chasing what I couldn't keep, not asking what I need. Midweek stands beside me like a quiet friend. Halfway through the week I begin again. Streetlights shimmer on the pavement like reflections in my mind. Thoughts that once were overwhelming now are easier to find. There's a calm and understanding. Some things move without control. There's a strength in letting go of what I cannot hold. Halfway through the week I loosen my grip, let the tired tension slip from my fingertips. Midweek feels forgiving, like a second chance to see. Halfway through the week there's still more of me. I don't need a grand direction, I don't need a perfect line, just a quiet confirmation that this breathing space is mine. Halfway through the week I finally know I don't have to move so fast, I don't have to go. Midweek holds me steady in this softened light I seek. Halfway through the week I find my peace. That is enough for tonight.
We don't have to say it out loud, the way the evening understands how the quiet settles softly like warm light across our hands. No dramatic explanations, no rehearsed or perfect lines, just a gentle kind of presence in between the spaces and the signs. In the comfort of unspoken words, there's a peace that softly stays, nothing loud or overflowing, just a calm that gently sways. Midweek leans into the silence like it knows what I've been through. In the comfort of unspoken words, I find something true. Streetlights glow beyond the window, but they don't demand my eyes. For a moment I'm just breathing without pressure, without disguise. Maybe not every feeling needs a reason to exist. Maybe calm is simply knowing there is nothing that I missed. In the comfort of unspoken words, there's a warmth I can't deny. Halfway through the week, I let the tension slide. No applause and no defense, just the gift of stillness given. In the comfort of unspoken words, I feel gently driven. If silence had a language, it would sound like this tonight. Soft and slow and certain, like forgiving fading light. In the comfort of unspoken words, the world forgets to race. Midweek turns into a whisper that I don't have to chase. No demand and no condition, just a quiet, steady truth. In the comfort of unspoken words, I come back to you. And that is more than enough.
There's a shadow on the wall tonight, moving slow beneath the light. Like it's telling me to settle down, like it knows I fought my fights. The room is small, but it feels wide, with nothing left to prove. I can finally let the silence be the only thing that moves. Warm shadows on the wall, nothing urgent at all. Midweek loosens in my chest, like a place I'm meant to rest. Halfway through and standing tall, warm shadows on the wall. Footsteps fading down the hallway, doors closing one by one. The noise that ruled the daylight is quietly undone. There's a grace in not reacting, there's a strength in letting be. Maybe peace is not dramatic, maybe it's simplicity. Warm shadows on the wall, the evening doesn't call for a better version of me, just the man I already see. Midweek feels forgiving now, warm shadows show me how. All the weight I carried earlier slips off without a sound. Maybe I don't need to hold it, maybe I can set it down. Warm shadows on the wall, no grand rise or fall, just a steady breathing light, holding gently to the night. Midweek finally feels small under warm shadows on the wall. And I let it stay that way. The air settles around me like it's known me all along. After hours of steady motion, after trying to stay strong, nothing here is pushing, nothing pulling at my name. For a moment I am weightless, free from pressure, free from blame. The air settles around me, and I finally feel it too. Midweek doesn't need perfection, it just needs something true. Halfway through this working week, I loosen what I keep. The air settles around me, and I breathe. Outside lights blur softly through the quiet glass. All the sharp and hurried edges gently start to pass. There's a common understanding, I don't have to fix it all. There's a comfort in the silence when the restless voices fall. The air settles around me like forgiveness in disguise. Midweek opens quietly behind my tired eyes. Nothing left to chase tonight, nothing left to prove. The air settles around me, and I don't have to move. Maybe peace was always waiting in the spaces I ignored. Maybe slowing down was never something I should fear or avoid. The air settles around me in this softened amber glow. Halfway through I'm standing still is more than I should know. Midweek holds me gently like it's teaching me to see. The air settles around me and sets me free, and that is where I stay.
There's a lamp still glowing softly in the corner of the room, like it's keeping quiet company as the daylight leaves too soon. I don't turn it off just yet, I let it gently stay like a small and steady promise at the ending of the day. With a lamp left on for thought, I don't stretch along the ceiling, but they don't frighten me. They just move like quiet memories of who I used to be. There's a kindness in this lighting, in the way it softly falls. Nothing sharp or overwhelming, just warm across the walls. With a lamp left on for thought, I let my worries fade. Nothing here demanding, nothing left unpaid. Midweek turns to amber light, calm and slow and true. With a lamp left on for thought, I come back to you. Maybe clarity is simple, maybe peace is small, maybe all I ever needed was this light against the wall. With a lamp left on for thought, I stay right where I am. No dramatic transformation, no complicated plan. Midweek rests inside my chest, soft and slow and kind. With a lamp left on for thought, I quiet my mind. And I let the evening stay.
There are soft echoes in the hallway, footsteps fading one by one, like the building slowly breathing after everything is done. Doors are closing without anger, lights are dimming without fear. For the first time all day long, I can actually hear soft echoes in the hallway, nothing chasing me. Midweek finally loosens like it sets me free. Halfway through and standing still feels like something new. Soft echoes in the hallway guide me back to truth. The rush that filled the daylight feels distant now and small, like a storm that passed unnoticed, leaving nothing after all. There's a peace in empty spaces, in the quiet after sound. Maybe strength is simply knowing I can set my armor down. Soft echoes in the hallway lead me to the night. No grand answers waiting, just a softer light. Midweek turns forgiving away. Soft echoes in the hallway. Close the day. I don't need to solve tomorrow. I don't need to understand why some days feel heavier than what I had planned. Soft echoes in the hallway fade into the dark. Midweek leaves a gentle glow inside my tired heart. Nothing more expected, nothing left to say. Soft echoes in the hallway, and the day, and I walk home lighter. I can feel the pace is slow, like the air has changed its mind. All the urgency of daylight left somewhere behind. There's no need to chase the silence, no need to defend. For a moment I'm simply here without pretend. Breathing through the evening, I let the tension go. Midweek stands beside me in a softer glow. Halfway through and finally, I'm not trying to win. Breathing through the evening, I breathe again. Street lights paint the pavement in quiet shades of gold. Nothing here demanding, nothing left to hold. There's a calm and steady rhythm in the way my heart beats slow. Maybe peace was always waiting in the spaces in between those. Breathing through the evening, I find a different pace. Not ahead and not behind, just present in this space. Midweek feels forgiven, like a gentle friend. Breathing through the evening, I begin again. I don't need a perfect ending, I don't need applause, just a quiet confirmation that I can pause. Breathing through the evening, I soften at the seams. Midweek turns to amber light and quiet dreams. Halfway through and standing free, that is enough for me. Breathing through the evening, I finally see I let the night be kind.
There's a quiet by the doorway, like it's been there all along, not demanding any answers, not deciding right or wrong. It doesn't knock impatiently, it doesn't raise its voice, it simply stands in silence like a gentle choice. Beside the hallway, jacket fallen from my hands. All the weight I carried slowly leaves my plans. Maybe peace is not dramatic, maybe calm is small, maybe I don't have to carry it. Like it knows I did my best, no applause and nothing more. Rest is waiting at the door. I don't need permission, I don't need a sign. The quiet invitation was always mine. Final rest is waiting at the door. I finally let it in. Midweek turns forgiving under softened skin. Halfway through I breathe once more. Rest is waiting at the door. And I step inside.
The night holds me lightly, like it knows I'm tired. After all the steady climbing, after all I required, there's no edge to this darkness, no shadow to defend, just a soft and steady presence, like an old familiar friend. The night holds me lightly, doesn't ask for more. Midweek closes gently, like a quiet door. Halfway through and standing here, I finally see the night holds me lightly, and it holds me free. City sounds grow distant, like waves upon the shore. Nothing left to calculate, nothing to explore. There's a comfort in acceptance, in the way the air turns slow. Maybe peace is not achieving, maybe it's letting go. The night holds me lightly, like forgiveness in the dark. Midweek feels completed, even without a mark. No more racing toward a line, no more trying to be. The night holds me lightly and releases me. I don't need tomorrow to promise anything. This quiet, steady breathing is enough to sing. The night holds me lightly under amber skies. Midweek rests within me without disguise. Halfway through and feeling right, that is all I need. The night holds me lightly and lets me be, and I let it stay. before the weekend comes around, before the plans begin. There's a space inside this evening where I quietly fit in. No excitement, no agenda, just a steady glow. Midweek doesn't rush me, it lets the moment flow. Before the weekend comes, I let myself be still. No mountains left to conquer, no impossible hill. Halfway through and satisfied with where I stand. Before the weekend comes, I understand. Window shimmers softly with reflections of the street. Nothing calling out my name, nothing incomplete. There's a calm in not arriving, there's a grace in simply being. Maybe all this quiet light is what I've been seeing. Before the weekend comes, I loosen every thread of the thoughts that kept me spinning in my head. Midweek finds its ending in a softened hum. Before the weekend comes, I don't need celebration, I don't need escape, just a gentle confirmation I can reshape. Before the weekend comes, I settle into now. Midweek finally teaches me the when and why and how. Halfway through and feeling strong without the need to run. Before the weekend comes, I'm already done. And that is enough.
Where the evening ends tonight, there's a soft mist in the air. Not a finish line or curtain, just a quiet kind of care. I don't need a perfect closing, I don't need applause, just a steady sense of breathing without a cause. Where the evening ends, I begin again. Midweek folds into my hands like a trusted friend. Halfway through and finally I see what matters most. Where the evening ends, I let go of the ghost. dim but not uncertain, like they know the way into something calm and patient at the edge of day. There's no rush to turn the page, no need to rearrange all the things that didn't fit into a different frame. Where the evening ends, there's no regret. Midweek leaves a quiet mark I won't forget. Nothing loud, nothing grand, just a softened tone. Where the evening ends, I come home. Maybe this is all I needed, more than I could see. Not a change in circumstance, but a change in me. Where the evening ends, the silence sings. Midweek gently closes on simple things. Halfway through and standing still is enough somehow. Where the evening ends is now.